life.
Good evening and welcome to Face to Face. For the Newsfirst theme, I'm Niranjala. Parenthood is, of course, one of the most important aspects of a person's life, and many of us are lucky indeed to become parents and to have parents whom we love and cherish. But there are, of course, a lot of challenges in parenthood, including the balancing of one's career and parenting. And we have an important event coming up in a few days, and that is the Mom Leaders Conference 2026. That's right, a conference which is for mothers and for corporates who employ mothers, which is pretty much everyone. And I am pleased to welcome on the show two of the co-founders of Parenthood Global, which initiated this conference, and they are Roshni, Niranjala and Dhananchayan, Sivathasan. Good evening and welcome to both of you.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Right, Roshni, so this is a very unique type of conference. It's not your usual corporate type of event, but you've been doing this. This is the third year of the conference now, and it's been highly successful. Would you like to tell us a little bit about this year's conference?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Niresh. So, Mom Leaders Conference is a platform that to celebrate motherhood, right? So, especially when it comes to mothers, so when it comes to parenting, mothers used to have like more challenges, right? Let's say physically, mentally. So, and also they play a crucial role. So when it comes to corporates, and also let's say they are bringing up the next generation, right? So in order to bring up or empower the next generation, mothers should be empowered. So in order to do that, we have like created something called Mom Leaders Conference. This is proudly we are doing for the third consecutive year. So this platform is completely given for them to we celebrate, acknowledge mothers, acknowledge the companies who are being mom inclusive, and also various type of sessions that we discuss about like motherhood. How do they do the work-life balance, of course, and then how do we get rid of your guilt feeling, because that is the main core that they like it because that support should be given, because it triggers them to leave the job that they really love, right? So that's why we have created such a platform to celebrate motherhood.
Well, this is very important because in Sri Lanka we have very large numbers of women who graduate from our state universities and our private universities, and then they sort of fade away from the corporate workforce because our social systems are not properly geared to support mothers. So this particular event that you are hosting will certainly go a long way towards emphasizing the support that mothers and fathers require when they are having to balance their careers. Can I bring in Dhananchayan to add something more to what this event is about?
All right, so Mom Leaders Conference, the very first time that we did, we actually wanted to make it as a platform for the corporates to recognize their employees who are parents, specifically mothers. Right? So why mothers, I would say? One thing is, if you take in terms of challenges, like mothers are the most who see these challenges when they're working as well as running a family, and most of them tend to leave their career. They are talented, of course, most of them are talented, but they also think about, okay, why not stop the career after the kid is grown, let me continue it. So those kind of challenges are already there. So when it comes to the corporates, like for them in terms of recruitment and employability, they are losing these parents, like these talents who are supposed to be managers, senior managers, or of course VPs, who has to go through a particular career path. They are losing them because of this commitment that they have been into. And this is kind of a normal, this is not an option. So all the mothers, all the ladies specifically who are into this path, they're going to face at one point of their stage of life, right? So if as corporates, one thing that they could do is support them so that they have this particular ecosystem that's like, kind of a guidance or kind of a support ecosystem that helps them to balance work and like life as well, right? So when you take a family, right? So mostly the mom and the dad is working, right? Say for example, the kid is about 3-year-old, and the mom is also working, dad is also working. They don't have support from the grandparents, so they are like, in Colombo they don't have grandparents anymore, so they use the daycare to leave the kid and all, which is very common now, right? So if you take the time that they're spending at office after 5 o'clock, how much of time they are going to spend with the kid? That is one thing, right? And in a practical scenario, if you take these days kids, right, when you take the Gen Zs and all, not like that. When say, okay, Niresh, I'll take you as an example. When you were a kid, you were able to spend some time, quality time with your parents. Like, of course, they were busy at that time, but not at this much busy, right? So, of course, we can't complain about this because the world is moving faster. Everyone is busy. That's acceptable. That we cannot do anything. But spend that quality time and everything. So now, so at workplace, if you are working overtime or anything, like that's work. There's no option. You have to work, right? And on the other hand, you are seeing a family, you have to spend time with the kid. So who can, as an option, support this? The corporates, right? So corporates, when we started Mom Leaders Conference, when we were contacting all these corporates, they were actually asking me, okay, how can we help them? What can we do for that, right? So one thing is parenting. So what we brought about, Mom Leaders Conference, all these sessions, especially the panel speaking to the individual sessions, we bring in speakers who are mothers, right? Who are mothers and who have climbed up the ladder, at a very senior position while being a mother. So they share their journey. So these stories inspire other mothers who are there, who have come to the conference, right? So that's an inspiration, right? And the other hand, for the companies, this particular conference is a platform for them to recognize their employees who are mothers. So what they do is, they have 3 methodologies. It depends from company to company and industry to industry. So using those methodologies, they select either 5 to 10 mothers every year, and they recognize them at this conference. So at this conference, when they are recognized, they also feel included, and wow, my motherhood is celebrated. And you won't believe, it's not only at office, at work also, at home. At home, the husband, the children they are so excited and so happy when the mom comes back home with that award. So I have seen stories from the first to the second year, when we get some feedbacks from the mothers who have already got awarded. We see that happiness. Some also, some mothers, they have given treat at office, that my mother, the kids are really proud of it. Okay, my mother, my best mother and all. And even say in one instance, I have seen one mother has told us her kid, it's she's a 4-year-old kid. She has come with that small token of appreciation and come to the mother, best mom in the world. So those are instances where the motherhood is truly felt and and honored. And they're also happy. They feel inclusive in the workplace. They feel that the workplace is supportive, and so they're actually motivated. So there is no chance for them to think about, okay, I'm alone, I have no support, I might have to stop my career and look after my kid, and maybe after the kid is grown, I will continue my career. So they don't need to talk about those. They don't need to even think about the company. Actually, now the companies who have come forward for these things, there are about 40 plus member companies with us. So all these companies who are working with are forward thinking in a way where we should support these parents. They should also have a life. How can we do this? Okay, the work is done, but what else we can do? Maternity leave above the required policy days that most of them are giving. Paternity leave is there in Sri Lanka. Most of the companies are giving those. And certain certain positions, say above manager level positions, are really tied up and little busy with meetings and everything. But they are also, in most of the companies, they are giving flexibility to to go and pick the kid and come or something like that. It's not stringent, okay, you have to be from 9 to 5 at work. No, nothing like that. They give that flexibility. Okay, you can pick the kid and come. Some companies, they also have a small area set up at the company as a play area where the kids can stay there until they go for a class or anything. So likewise, all these organizations are coming forward. So what we are doing here is, we are creating that ecosystem. We are getting them as like part of the community, and then we are helping him at large. So it's one company's effort is this much, right? And if you take 40-50 companies or more companies effort together, it's a lot. So when you take this, now this is a problem, right? So parent, like mothers at a, like, you know, at a very crucial part of their career, leaving the job because of the family, I mean because of the kid, is a very serious issue. Maybe if it is considered in a small company, yes, it would be a small, like 2 or 3 mothers, maybe they are thinking it's a small issue. But when it considers as a country, or maybe like in the world, like, so how many parents are thinking like this? So how can we support them? So that is one thing. So that is all about this conference. The entire discussion, so sessions, everything is around this.
Right. So Roshni, would you like to give our viewers a little more in depth about what's going to happen that day? It's a one-day conference, so and it's at Cinnamon Life. So what exactly will each session entail?
Yes, yeah, sure, Niresh. So the Mom Leaders Conference we have designed in a manner where, even because the corporates also coming on board, and then the mothers also being recognized there. So all these like participants, they wanted to get awareness about, because we every year we used to like because we used to run certain surveys, and we understand like what kind of actual challenges also there, because it evolves, right? The challenges also evolves when it comes to parenting. So these mothers, we understand the challenges. So based on that, we have structured, for an example, so one of the key session is about like creating policy and creating like an inclusive culture for working mothers. So in order to do that, Sarah from Dubai, she's from Kraft Heinz, she's the HR director. So she'll be doing a fantastic session, because their company was recognized as a parent-friendly workplace by the government, Dubai government. So she will be explaining the structure, how they are being recognized, because we also wanted to see Sri Lanka like thriving, because Sri Lanka, we are also like in a it's good that we can see the companies that they are also growing. They wanted to do a lot of initiatives to support the parents, but we also wanted to bring in like a global perspective, so we can absorb, we can implement those strategies, and also because we can like she will be explaining like a practical scenarios, right? So that will add more value for the companies who are joining to understand more, and they can also gain knowledge out of it to implement more initiatives to support mothers. So on top of it, there's another panel session. We are talking about this completely mothers who are in a C-suite level position. So they would have gone through like different journeys, right? So because we have chosen the speakers who are having a different life stages. So some of them are having like toddlers, some of them are having like they are like parents of mothers of adults, teens. So their journey would be different. They are into different industries as well. So they will explain how motherhood has shaped their career or their journey. So why we are having such a panel discussion is the mothers who are participating, so they can reflect, right? They can understand, okay, they are also going through such a similar situation, so they can like just relate it. So based on that, they will understand, okay, I'm not alone here. So there are situations, and we talk about like mentorship as well, because of the mothers who has gone into that stage or career ladder, so she can mentor the young generation about like how their journey has been, what kind of challenges they have gone through, and how they could overcome. So we also allow the audience to ask questions. So even last year's conference also, I have seen like there's someone asked about the guilt feeling, because I wanted to be with my kid. I'm just leaving my kid to the daycare, and while leaving the kid, that kid used to cry. So I felt so guilty that I'm leaving the kid, and because I'm chasing my dreams. So am I a bad mother? So this is like a common question all the mothers used to have, including me as well. See, because I had this question. So I was waiting for this answer, because then she has given an answer, a very lovely answer, that okay, let's say you wanted to you really love your career, right? You wanted to get into this career ladder. So at a point, let's say you're leaving this career, you're taking this break, just to be like a full-time like mother at home taking care of the kid. So, and let's say there's a actual scenario also she has mentioned that the mother has give up on her career, and at a point when the kid was going to the university, so they had a small fight. So he has told the mother, I wish that you have gone for work so I can like show off that you are in such a position and all. Then the mother also felt upset, and she has given an answer, okay, because of you only I have left my career because I was so passionate about it. So in this scenario, the kid is also upset, okay, I'm like he might feel emotionally like upset because okay, my mother has gave up on her career because of me. So it's affecting the next generation. And also mothers will be feeling, okay, I wanted to, because if they wanted to take a break, and okay, if they, because it's their personal choices, but if they really wanted to work and get into this career ladder, and then if they gave up on that, it really affects their mental well-being. So that's how she has mentioned. So it doesn't matter you're gonna take a break or take care of them. Try to have like a quality time with your kid, because it's not about like you're being with the kid 24 hours. Try to give like a quality time, at least if it is 1 hour, okay, give like a quality time. No phones, no screen time, nothing. Just be with the kid. And if possible, like with fathers, the entire family, if they could like be with the kid, like teach them, just talk with them. You have like small like structures, let's say having the dinner together, so something like that, so that will work. So then I spoke to the mother who has raised that question. So she felt so happy, okay, I can relate it, so I don't feel guilty now. So it the small subject, it makes like a very big impact. And also we have a case study of a big conglomerate. They have mentioned the mother has withdrawn the resignation after coming to the conference because she felt included, okay, I can do. So these kind of like element will be discussed on during that panel discussion. And also we have few other keynote sessions talking about how do you take care of yourself, because mothers more often they don't take care of their self, they want to take care of the kid and the husband and the whole family. But the truth is, if you take care of yourself, then only it will be much easier and productive to take care of others as well. So you have to, mothers, they have to take care of themselves. So that's why we have structured another session about their self-care, physical well-being, mental well-being, and also there are a few other segments as AI also booming. So mothers will take like a career break, right, more often, because you can see literally in Sri Lanka, so 31 to 32% of the female are the workforce. So why it is happening? Because of the career break that they are going through. So we wanted to rectify that through that session. Okay, in case if you're taking a career break, so what would be the future? What is the future of like a career landscape? How do you, so there's this the AI specialist, she'll be doing a session on like how AI is interfering on your career path. And also as you're raising the kids, so you can't completely get rid of screen time or like let's say digital, so digitally they should be the digital literacy should be there. And also they should understand how do we literally like knowledge about AI should be there for parents, especially mothers, to raise their kids and also get into the career ladder. So that's why we have added that. And finally we have another session by an Indian speaker. He'll be, because his business, he has expanded to 8 different countries and he's into AI and also like risk management, and also he'll be showcasing how the new career landscape would be. So those kind of different elements. And we have another panel discussion also how top level management or the corporates could fill this career gap or leadership gap in between the mothers. So these are the full structure about the Mom Leaders Conference 2026 though. So through that we are sure that it will be like a impactful session.
Right, and we need to take a short commercial break, but first, Dhananchayan, could you tell us a little bit about how many corporates will be there and how many participants?
Yeah, so there'll be around 300 plus participants at the conference, and corporates, if you say alone our member companies, there'll be about 40 companies participating, and also non-member companies who are seeing the flyer and all registration, there are about 10 plus companies. So altogether 50 plus corporates are participating in the event. And if you take the audience, it's 90% is mums. But just want to make a small clarification, it doesn't need to be only mums, right? So this entire audience includes HR, policymakers, top management, to decision makers at organizations, culture development, who are into culture development and all, L&D, learning and development, and also even no need to be in a corporate, but mothers who are not working currently, who want to know what's happening in the corporates, how they can feel inclusive, how they can get back to work. Someone who is trying to get back to work, they also can be part of it. So that's all these sessions, as Roshni said, all these sessions to keynote speaking sessions, everything, all this knowledge sharing session, everything is around this niche. So I would say it doesn't need to be mothers, even fathers. It's most of a shared parenting thing, right? So other than a support, if you take a family, other than support from a father, the family can't run, right? There should be both sides. So if the mom is working, there should be support from the father as well. So that's why we talk about shared parenting, and also fathers also, dads who want to be part of it and understand what the mothers are going through. Maybe they will try to relate it, right? So because last time also we had a few fathers who have attended, they were tracking back the entire discussion to their family. Okay, so this is what happened, and they also feel okay, I should be supportive as well, because some are supportive. I'm not saying not everyone is supportive, but they are supportive, but it's just certain things that triggers at that conference. So that's all about the audience there. And when you take about sponsors also, this time actually we have a good set of sponsors. We are actually happy for that, because those who came for sponsorships, their only motive is okay, we want to support you. The word most of the sponsors, they said is we want to support you. Normally I have been in other businesses as well, but I haven't heard that those words support words, but they feel inclusive, they take the ownership. Okay, what can we do? Okay, we want to give this giveaway, and also that's the positive energy that we feel in this conference. Everyone who comes for it, when they go back, they go with the positive energy with all these discussions.
Excellent. We need to take a short break now. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
මගේ වොයිස් එකම කොහොමද දෙන්නේ? එහෙම බැලුවා මට දුන ඔක්කොම කලින් කෝච් යසස්ව කන්ට්‍රෝල් එකට ගත්තා නම් හොඳයි කියලා. රිටර්න් එක එකට දෙක බැගි. සිටිජේගේ බර්ත්ඩේ ගිෆ්ට් එක දෙන්න යනවා. විශා Voice Team Season 3 සතියක රාත්‍රී 8:30ට. හේ කියාගේ පන්ති ගැන උඹට වඩා හොඳට මන් දන්න. මොකද උඩින් ගිය එකක් ඊයේ මොරින්න මෙහෙට එක්කගෙන ආවෙත් බාලිස. ඒක රිසල්ට් එක බලන්න තමයි හවස ලොජ් එකට ගියේ. පහුගිය දවස් ටිකේම ඕගොල්ලන්ට කතා කරාම කියෙව්වේ තල් වට අරන්න. ඉතින් එහෙම එකේ මෙහෙම දෙයක් වුණාම මං කොහොමද ආවෙදින් ඉන්නේ? මාසයක් රැකලා හරි මං ගේම ගහන.
හෙට රාත්‍රී 8:30ට සිරස ටෙලිතිරයෙන්.
ඔය ඇත්තම අසනීපයක්ද? ආදරේ නිසා ප්‍රශ්නයක්ද?
අද ආරමන් සූරි සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම විනාශ වෙලා යනවා. I'm finished!
ඔයාට මිනිස්සෙක් එක්ක ආදරෙන් බැඳෙන්න බැහැ නාගරජිනිනි. ඔයාලගේ අන්තිම දවස් ටික තමයි මේ පටන් ගත්තේ. ආරමන් මගේ ඇත්ත ස්වරූපය දැක්කා. දැන් මම මොකද කරන්නේ?
හෙට රාත්‍රී 9:30ට සිරස ටෙලිතිරයෙන්.
යොබන් හිරි
එවන්නේ ඔබට පුළුවන් දෙයක් කරපන්.
යකෝ කවුද හිතුවේ එක ගලින් මෙච්චර කුරුල්ලෝ මැරෙයි කියලා.
මල්ලි පිස්සු නටන්නේ නැතුව ඔක පැත්තකට දානවා මේක කරකෙලව මරයි.
මම මේක නනුට කියනවා.
දැන් කට්ටියටම බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. මනමාලයාගේ කෙරුවාවල් ටික
මම අංකල්ගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවා මට වාපන්
හෙට රාත්‍රී 8ට සිරස ටෙලිතිරයෙන්
ප්‍රේමය පිළිබඳව ලෝකයේ නොයෙක් පුද්ගලයන් විවිධ අර්ථකථන සපයලා තියෙනවා.
මේ ජෝසන් වලට මුලින්ම හිම වැටෙන දවසේ මොන විදිය බොරුවක් කිව්වත් ඒකට සමාව ලැබෙනවා. 지난 기억 속에서 ඔබතුමාට කැමැත්තක් තියෙනවා. ඔයා යන්න එපා. මට සිහියනකම් මගේ ළඟින්ම ඔයා ඉන්න ඕනේ.
හෙට රාත්‍රී 7:30ට සිරස ටෙලිතිරයෙන්
Welcome back to Face to Face. I am in conversation with Roshni, Niranjala and Dhananchayan Sivathasan, who are the co-founders of Parenthood Global, and they are having a wonderful event this week, just in a few days' time, and that is the Mom Leaders Conference 2026. Now, Roshni, tell me a little bit about how the two of you came up with this idea. What was the inspiration and the journey, over the last few years?
Yeah, so Parenthood Global, it was founded in 2022 by us. So specifically, like when I got pregnant with my first child, so I had so many challenges and so many questions. But when I started to ask about these questions, like only my parents were there to resolve that. So when I was asking these questions, then I realized there's a gap between the previous generation and our generation, because I had so many questions. Okay, how can I balance my work? How can I be with the kid? Guilt feelings, so many questions. So then we slowly started as a small initiative by doing few sessions for parents. So we had so many positive response from them, and slowly evolved. And now we have about 40 plus corporates tied up with us, so under our corporate pillar. So what happens is, with corporate, we coordinate especially with the HR department on how you can create a supportive environment for parents, both mothers and fathers, of course. And then these initiatives, we give them toolkits, what kind of structures you can do, because the parents who are working in the corporate, their industry, their journey varies, that they get into different industries. So when it comes to flexibility or benefits, all these companies cannot give the same benefit to the parents. So we have to sit and we have to understand each parent's journey. That's why we have these surveys, researchers, and also based on that we also suggest. So, and also we have seen positive response from the corporates, where they used to ask so many questions. We badly wanted to support the parents. So how do we work together to structure a support system for parents, because they should not be suffering, right? So both parents, especially when it comes to workforce, and also even you would have seen recently the population also drastically going down, because the next generation, it's their perspective. If they don't want to have the kid, that's okay. But if someone wanted to have kids but they don't have the support system, then what happens? So because of that fear, they don't give birth to a child, right? So because they are really having these issues, and so we badly need a support system to support these parents, because they have various kind of challenges, right? So we wanted to have it very niche, specifically for parents. How do you support, so both mothers and fathers? So this is how we structured the company. And also apart from the corporate, we also have additional initiative that is supporting mom entrepreneurs, like CSR program that is supporting the rural community, the parents, and we wanted to give them more opportunities, and even like daycare facilities also. We are having like a different structure that we are coordinating with the organizations and companies, how we can provide this to parents, because the daycare is one of the biggest challenges that the parents go through, because they don't have their grandparents now, because that's the structure now, right? So they wanted to like leave the kid in daycare, so the financial issues, the other challenges, so they wanted really wanted like a support pillar. So that's why we have gathered all organizations, companies, and everyone together, where we can like collectively have like a holistic solution to empower parents.
Right. Now, Dhananchayan, I'm interested to know what was the response to your initiatives from corporates, because corporates are mainly dominated by men, the boards of directors and senior management and so on, simply because of this situation where women have to take time off when they have children. So what was the response from the corporates?
All right, so in our first year, so we started in 2022 for even with the Mom Leaders Conference was our very first conference. So that was our touch point with all the corporates. So in the beginning, okay, I would say one word. All the corporates, it was the first call was 100% positive. Positive means, wow, that's a good initiative. They welcomed it, but they didn't know how is it possible to be implemented in the organizations, or like is the right time to do. So those were questions in the first year. So after the conference, we went back to certain corporates and we tried to explain what it is all about. We can do something like this. This is the structure, because whatever we communicated to them, the proposal was a structured agenda where they can implement it easily. So we got them to understand that, and okay, this is not costly. We can work together. This is a huge community. We can work together. Something with that support system, few corporates came on board. So we also didn't market much. We also want to start with few corporates and fully focus on that and see actually what is their actual challenges, and then release the products or solutions there for those. So we started with, I think, five members in the first year, and now we have 40 plus companies, and there's much more in the pipeline, because our closures are mostly annual, because it takes time, because it's a policy implementation, is a complete cultural shift, so it takes some time in terms of culture. But it was a huge jump from the first year to now with 40 plus corporates, and all those 40 plus corporates are like publicly listed. It's huge companies. So all these well-known brands came forward. They understood the problem that they have within the organizations, which is unknown for them previously. And to see some organizations, they have already been implementing certain stuff, like for parents and all. Like they had this employee resource groups and all those stuff for parents, and certain most of the companies, they also had these daycare facilities which would be paid in full, in some companies paid partly, in some companies something like that. So those has been already been given, and as I mentioned before, the maternity, paternity leave, all those have been given. But in terms of awareness, parenting awareness, right, and certain events, they want to have bringing kids to work, something like that. I feel like a kind of a more friendly and family kind of an ecosystem at workplace, because I would say, in my opinion, work and life is not separate at this moment, at this part of the economic, Russia and all. It's not separate. It's actually the same, because you can't actually split both. I want to be. It's either you go onto the top, fully focusing on work without focusing completely on the family, or you leave the job and focus on the family. So those are the two options before, but now you can actually work on both, right? You want to shine, yeah, you have the support of the parent, because they are the first one to be proud of when you are coming up the ladder, right? So if you take a mother who is a VP or maybe a MD or maybe selected to the board or something, the first one to be happy is the parent and the kid and the father, right? The family. So and in this support system, the companies, like, they when they came as membership, what we did was we started them, like we brought them to a place like where they can discuss all the challenges, because industry wise it's different. Say for example, hotels, it's very difficult to implement certain things where a normal corporate like a bank would operate as. A bank is a different scenario when you compare to a products a manufacturing company. So likewise, industry is different. So what we did was we customized each and everything, and we took parents like to divided. So one is within the workplace, one is outside. So outside one is raising the kid. So we do webinars, like we share knowledge, we get speakers from outside experts, and we invite all the companies, like it's one session where all the company mothers, they send the mothers to fathers, we also do for fathers as well, to for this knowledge sharing session where IT security for kids is shared, and then mental health well-being, the personal well-being, and how to learn care, like work-life balance, about the work-life balance and all, psychological shift in terms of parenting, becoming mother just after maternity leave, work and this thing, and getting back to work concept. So another thing that most of the companies want is bringing back them to work. So what's the gap? Are we actually treating them fairly? Because when it comes to promotion, when a mom comes after maternity leave, is she ignored? No. Is she being trained and get is she taken back to the previous level as she was before, and then taken for appraisal? So those are the challenges company has been facing about. So all these pain points were all that was existing, but no one triggered them. So when we talked about this, okay, we as a ecosystem, we can help you all to do this, we have structures, because we'll implement this, but it's a slow process. But all the companies, they wanted to help all their employees who are mothers as well as fathers. So these days, if you take most of the companies, they're all talking about employee well-being. It's not like before. So they care about the employee. So at least whoever we are working with, what we have seen truly is every one of them in the HR department, if you have meetings with them, the only question is what more we can do for the employees, what's impactful. So they are so into it. So that's the response that we also get, and we also feel kind of a positive energy and happy to work with them, because it's for good, right? So it's not about money or anything, it's all about that impact that we are making on each and everyone's life there, right? So when it's even in a meeting, it's all positive. All our meetings are more casual than a formal this thing. We actually discuss on what these are the problems, how can we find solutions for this, it's all a group effort. So it's not only us, it's the ecosystem, right? So whoever part of the ecosystem, everyone helps each other. And even if you take this event, most of the marketing is done by the ecosystem, because now say as founders and our ecosystem, we also get support, advice from the senior management also. There is advisory board as well. So there's Sandra D'Souza, who is on and only qualified customer experience in Sri Lanka. So she advises us on she actually guides us on how to implement certain structural changes within the organization. Okay, this particular thing is very difficult to be implemented in the organization, structure it like this. So those kind of guidance are also there. And not only that, each and every member company has one representatives allocated for us, who will be in part of the discussion, where each and everyone represents the company and comes and talks on a kind of a forum that we call the member circle, right? So all these things, initiatives and discussions to everything, it's not just talks. So soon after this, the implementation happens. Even our conferences, say this is not only the conference, we have so many other things also. So with the awards and everything, it doesn't finish there at the organization, because whoever comes, whoever the members the participants who comes represented by the companies, those mothers, they come, they listen to the sessions, to everything, they stay until the end, and what they do is the next day or maybe within that month, they go back to the company and they do the sessions again. They just share the knowledge. So most of the companies, they have come and told us it's so nice to see that they have come to a a conference, and they're sharing back the knowledge to other mothers. Even if if you take some bags, branch level, they have come and they have gone back to the branch and shared those knowledge. So that's sort of kind of a response is what we are looking forward for, and it's also growing. So it's rapidly growing. So, and it's something kind of a unique cause which is welcomed by most of the corporates. So those whoever we talk to, that's the only thing I would say, it's positive energy, and it's like, okay, we would love to. And another thing I want to mention is you said in the before, it's always males at the dominant, in the board or anything like that. So, and it's difficult to get ladies. No, the culture is changing now. And one thing I want to clearly mention is now say, equality, right? When it comes to that, even if in the board, it's not about 50% female, 50% male. Like if you take a board, okay, we have 50% female, that's equality. It's not that's the equality. The equality is the opportunity. If there's a seat as an opportunity, an equal chance should be given to either it's a male or a female. So that's what mostly matters. So all these things, like when it comes to board, it's obviously most of them would be a mother or a father, right? So the support system there, and they will definitely understand. Okay, they are past that ladder and come. So when we speak to them, they understand, in when I should have had this before, like those things and all. So it's always welcome because everyone whom we are talking has been through this journey. So this support is something that they want to give back to the employees. So that's the response that we get from the organizations.
Excellent. And we are almost out of time. So my final question is to Roshni. Could you give our viewers a little bit more about the Mom Leaders Conference itself? Are you still open for more corporates to join the conference at this point?
Yes, of course. Yeah, please, we warmly welcome you all to the Mom Leaders Conference, because it's not only about like discussion. We are celebrating the mothers and we are recognizing them. It'll be like a great initiative and like sessions that you can learn more, give back to the community, and it create. We believe also small like changes would create like a big impact. So it's happening on 21st of May at Cinnamon Live from 8:30 to 5. It's a full day conference.
And how would somebody who wants to participate do so?
Yeah, so they can simply go to our website, parenthoodglobal.com, or you can simply search like Mom Leaders Conference 2026, and you can simply register to the forum and register yourself. Yes.
Right. And the Maharaja Media Network are, of course, the partner as far as media goes for this conference. So it will definitely be an important one. Right, and I'm afraid we are out of time. Thank you very much to my guests tonight, Roshni, Niranjala, and Dhananchayan, Sivathasan. Thank you for being with us and educating our viewers on this important event. And thank you to you at home for watching. Don't go away because the news is coming up next. Have a great evening.